Hello everybody and welcome to the new year and welcome to the first of this year's Teachitright monthly update videos. This is for January. Let's jump straight into it, and with our new year comes some New Year's resolutions. Of course, the best one, we would ask all of our pupils please to ensure that your books are labelled. It's so important for the markers, for the tutors handing the books in and out, for making sure that everything's recorded correctly, that not only is your name on there, but also I would include actually your tutor's name or your class name, just to make sure that your books get back to the right place. It's always very upsetting when things get lost or delayed, and so that would be a fantastic New Year's resolution to have. Equally important, especially in terms of developing, and as we know we're moving on to some harder topics now, is to make sure you're accurately and weekly checking and correcting your homework based on the homework stickers. So just as a reminder, a green sticker usually means no, everything in there is fine, you can move on. But if you've got an orange sticker or a red sticker, you absolutely should be going back, redoing the ones you got wrong, checking them, perhaps talking through them, making some notes, because red or orange sticker means it wasn't done completely right, and so there's room for corrections. And obviously a blue sticker, of course, means it needs to be finished because it hasn't been attempted yet. But it's really important, especially for those formerly CM students who are now moving on to GL. If you're coming across things that are difficult, that you need support with, going back based on the homework stickers, redoing them, and if you're still stuck, coming back and asking the tutor is so important to making sure that things don't get missed or don't get skipped over. So that's a fantastic New Year's resolution to go back and check your stickers carefully. Obviously as well, remembering to learn your spellings carefully each week. We know how important both the vocabulary and a GL, the actual spellings, are themselves, so making that effort is really valuable, really vital, and of course it's also a fantastic way to earn Teachitright tokens. That's something I definitely recommend. This is a great resolution. A large focus on the GL specific content. What do I mean by this? Well, we know everyone has now swapped over to GL. There are certain things, again, especially for this formerly CM students, that is GL specific. So in the non-verbal, it might be things like the fold and punch questions. In the verbal reasoning, it's the fact that maths questions can suddenly rock up out of nowhere. That's a bit unusual. It might be the SPAG, spelling, punctuation, and grammar questions. It might be for example, last week in the first lessons we were doing things. We are looking at number letter sequencing, where you're trying to work out alphabet patterns. These are all unique to GL, and especially if it's the first time you've seen them. Putting a bit more effort is going to be so valuable because we know everyone's now doing the GL exam content. Keep working on those core math skills. This is a fantastic point. We know a lot of parents, a lot of students did find some of the maths quite challenging, and we know why that is in terms of what we've missed, in terms of just a quantity of practice missed out thanks to COVID. So even though we're now in a block that doesn't have any direct maths necessarily, keeping those core skills up to date, keeping the practice going, especially for those core operations, really vital and really useful. And of course, we're in a non-verbal and verbal reasoning block, so continuing to add words to your word and meaning book, really valuable, really vital. That vocabulary we know is so important, so please keep that word and meaning book growing. Mentioning the maths core skills, it's a fantastic time, I suppose, just to remind everyone, of course, that our maths masterclasses have started. So our maths masterclasses are fantastic. They're sort of key, targeted, one-off lessons. They're done online on Zoom. And they're great. If you know you've got a weakness, you can target a certain area. So let me just give you the first couple. We've got on the 11th of January, Glorious Geometry. On the 18th of January, Mastering Measurements. And then on the 25th, Appealing Averages. And there's a few more classes after that. But if you know you struggle with geometry, if you know at school you've not covered your measurements in great detail and you find the averages really hard, it's a great way to sort of cherry pick extra support for a certain topic. But equally, you can do the whole set. I think it's about 6 or 7 lessons in total. And if you do the whole set, I think you get a discount. They come down to sort of £12 per lesson. But they're great because you can just rock up, target a certain bit of content, really get some in-depth focused practice, and it's just so very valuable, especially if you know it's something you struggle with. And I know a lot of students did have a few areas of maths that they were finding challenging. The amazing Gemma's doing it. She's amazing. She's a superstar. She knows everything you could possibly know with maths. She's really, really good, and so thoroughly valuable and well worth going through. So again, those are starting from next week, and I say well worth booking onto. Other things, bit of a spring clean coming up. The spring coming along soon. It's good timing for this. A Teachitright bag cleanup. Please make sure that these books on the screen now are the only ones that are coming back to the centres. So for year 4, you can see we've got the 4 mathematics books. For the GL students, GL assessment students, you've got these 6 books here. And what you may notice for the year 5 Reading boys, we've essentially substituted the non-verbal reasoning for the creative writing book. But it's incredibly important to only bring back these books because we know, first off, Teachitright bags, if you've still got 3 blocks worth of books, it's going to be getting very heavy. The bags might be starting to break and buckle, and worse, the students. It's not very good for the health of the students to be lugging these around. So on the health side of things, it's important, but equally, it makes things far more confusing if you're trying to sort of, find one book and you're having to search through sort of 18 different options. Similar with old homework sheets, old spelling sheets, they should all be kept, but just not in the bag. So I recommend finding some shelf space, keeping them, because you may want to revise the spellings again at a later date. You may want to see, remind yourself of what certain homeworks were, but only bringing, please, to the books the fresh, up-to-date homework sheets and books is really vital, and it's just going to help the lessons go that much more smoothly, which means we can cover that much more content, which is the point, really. Other things just to remind people of or make people aware of: Year 6 English and Maths course happening on a Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 with the amazing Sharon. This really, if anyone is in Year 6, if you know anyone in Year 6 who would benefit from additional maths and English support, from SATs preparation, we know how important the SATs are come the end of the year. The SATs are what secondary schools use to sort of set students and generate the predicted grades. So it's really vital to give them the best, give a child the best, setup possible. They're going on for, to a fantastic transition just to secondary school. We know how valuable the confidence is. These are going on in Camberley, and they are starting now in January. And so they're well worth passing on. So if anyone you know, if you've got any students in Year 6 who would benefit from this, please do reach out to us because it's fantastically useful. Other things, this is really a big thank you for everyone who turned up to the vocabulary monster quiz in Christmas. It was really fun. We really enjoyed it. It was lovely to see the students getting involved, answering questions, because of course it was a Christmas quiz. We did throw in a few bonus rounds that weren't just vocabulary based. A couple of timely ones. Who does Messi play for in particular with the World Cup coming to end was quite pertinent. But it was lovely to see the students getting involved, having some fun. We made it a bumper length one with a few bonus exercises in there, as I say. But it was just great to see the kids cheering each other on, getting involved, and hopefully learning a bit along the way. Really exciting. Please do, of course, then look out for the next one of these free offerings in the upcoming Easter holidays. It was so much fun. I'm sure we're going to do it again because it really was very enjoyable. So that's just something to make you aware of, and just again, big thank you for everyone who turned up. Other things that are really important: we have an open afternoon on January 21st. This is going to be for any students who want to come and come and see us, come and experience. It's also for the parents. What's going to happen is it's going to be from about 2:30 to approximately 3:30, and these parents are going to have a talk where they can be told all, go through all the benefits, all the changes that are going on in terms of 11 plus, where it's at. But while that's going on, the students can be whisked away and given an introductory free half-an-hour course on verbal reasoning and another half an hour on non-verbal reasoning. And they might also be able to sort of tour a couple of the classrooms as they're going on. And this is lovely, classic open day where the kids can get a taste, but also the parents get that core vital information. So if there's anyone that you know would like to come and join us, this is prospective Year 4 or Year 5 students, but even if you're one of the Teachitright parents and you've got a Year 4 or 5 student that hasn't joined us yet, come on down. There's no harm in it. But we welcome everyone, obviously, to come and get a taste of what Teachitright is all about. But it should be really fun. And so the fact the students get to get involved as well, a little bit of a freebie session, I think should be really, really enjoyable and hopefully really valuable. Other things very important to mention are Christmas quiz winners. Obviously, fantastically proud of everyone. Thank you so much everyone who entered the Christmas quiz. We had, I think, well over 100 entries, and of course then these winners were then picked randomly from those people who entered and did very well. So in reverse order, we have in 3rd place Hugo at our Maidenhead Saturday Centre. Well done, Hugo. Fantastic entry. In 2nd place, we had Prisha at the Heathrow Wednesday Club. Well done to Prisha. I believe both of you got a game, I think a box of chockies or a box of sweeties possibly. Very well done to you. And 1st place, our bumper prize is Phoebe at Maidenhead Tuesday. I want to look at a different centre. Well done to Phoebe. Now, what's Phoebe going to win? Well, our 1st place prize is pretty special. Let's see what's in our bag. Let's drag it to the side and see. Well, first and foremost, you have a fantastic jotter book. Very cool, very useful for making notes. You then have a set of 11 plus flashcards. Very useful. Well done, well done. And finally, an entire game of qubits. How cool is that? And actually, judging by the background, I suspect you're also going to get some sweeties to go along with it. So well done, Phoebe. Fantastic, really exciting. And Prisha and Hugo as well. Good job, all of you. Well done. But again, just a big thank you to everybody who entered, because it makes it fantastically fun. So thank you, everyone who entered. Parent workshop. Right, guys, there is another upcoming parent workshop on the 14th of January from 9 to 11. That's going to be hosted at St Mary's Catholic Primary School in Maidenhead. And really, this is a big call out to all the parents, especially those of CEM parents or former CEM parents, because we're going to be going over the non-verbal and spatial reasoning. We know how important and how beneficial the students find it if mums and dads also know how to support their kids. We're going to be going through techniques for how to answer the questions. We're going to be going through techniques generally in terms of how to make sure you have the best chance of getting a question correct. We're going to be going over ways to check answers. We're going to be going over ways to question your children in terms of getting the best answers, making sure they understand that it's not just a guess that they've had. It's so vital, and we know the parents who are informed, who are able to support their kids, are going to be able to do that, and the kids are going to be able to perform that much better. So the parent workshops are so valuable, they're so useful, they're completely free. You just come on down, you learn, you hopefully get all sorts of hints and tips. We're going to be highlighting the more challenging topics that are coming up, the ones that you're more likely to need to support your kids with. It's just really useful if you also know what's going on, especially for verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. That's something that parents may have never done before, may not have been done at school. Just having that information at your fingertips is really useful. So I'd strongly encourage everyone to come on down. In terms of where to book it, you go to the event bookings page, and there it is under Parents Workshop. You just add that to your cart. It'll cost nothing, but that way you book in, and we know we have an accurate picture of the numbers of people who are attending. But please do come on down. It's so valuable, so useful. I cannot recommend it enough. Other things just to make you aware of, obviously, we're now moving into the new year, 2023. Well, our mock exams and our revision camps for Easter are available to book. And it's just worth talking through what these are. So obviously for the mock exams, you'll see in Easter we have mock exam A for Reading Boys. And then we have 2 runnings of mock exam A, for GL assessment. Now be aware that these are the same exam, mock exam A. They're just being held at different locations, but the Reading Boys exam is a different exam, obviously, because that's specific. But just when you're picking the mock exams out, you do want to make sure if you are booking multiple events that you want to be booking multiple letters. So ideally you'll be booking A, B, C, and D for Reading Boys if you're a Reading Boys student, or A, B, C, and D if you're a GL student, to ensure that you're choosing different content. But we do host them at multiple locations for sort of ease of access. This is very similar for the revision camps. Again, if you want to have a unique revision camp, you just need to make sure you've selected a unique letter. The one exception would be if, for example, you were applying to Reading Boys and a GL school, and you may want to take a mix of both, and then the content would be different. But for here, you can see at Windsor, we've got a revision camp for GL, a Reading Boys camp going on, at Maidenhead revision camp for, again, GL content, and Reading GL content going on as well. Again, well worth checking out. In terms of what the revision camps are, they're a 3-day course where we cover the same quantity of information as would be covered in a 6-week block. So it's really jam-packed. We're going to cover all the content. So for GL, for example, that would be verbal, non-verbal, maths, and English. For a Reading Boy camp, we substitute the non-verbal for creative writing. So we cover loads of material, and it's just a fantastic way of topping up what you need to know. Especially useful if you are, say, again, a former CM student, because then you're going to be catching up on that extra GL content that you might have not seen or only just seen recently. Other important things, of course, we have the fantastic Louise Swan hosting the book club. That's going to resume this weekend on Sunday the 8th. It's from 2:45 to 3:30. Come on down, get involved. Share snippets of what you've read, potentially hear or offer or give a few readings for fiction, non-fiction, poetry, all sorts of recommendations flying around. And this is probably a particularly good time of year because, of course, hopefully Santa's dropped off loads of books and we can all compare and contrast the various things we've been given and things we're looking forward to adding to our reading list. But really exciting, well worth attending. We know how passionate Louise is and it really rubs off on the children. Other thing, of course, our homework club, that will be resuming Monday, Year 4, 5:30 to 6:30, for Year 5, 6:30 to 7:30, and of course Tuesday there's another round of Year 5, for 4:30 to 5:30, and that's where we promote the Reading Boys. And the reason we've done that, of course, is just because there are more Year 5 students. So you're welcome to come down to either of those, or even both if you had a particularly challenging week of homework. But again, we know it's really good to support you with all sorts of concepts, any misconceptions, and even just questions from the lessons. You're welcome to just come on down and get the support you need. So we know people find those really valuable, so just to make you aware they exist, really. Important dates. Again, just a summary. So obviously, welcome back. We started back from the 3rd of January. Louise's book club going on Sunday the 8th of January in the afternoon. The non-verbal parent workshop, so important to come on the 14th, really vital. The open afternoon taster sessions on the 21st of January from 2:30, and of course the homework club every week. So get those down in your diary, and please do come on down. Right, everyone, that was the monthly update. Thank you so much. See you next month for more. All the best. Bye-bye.